What is up, everybody? It's your boy Duty back again with another video. Today is September 11th, and you guys know what that is. It is the anniversary of one of the most tragic events that hit our country, one of the saddest events, one of the defining moments of this century, and it's something that impacted every American here and abroad, and it also impacted a lot of non-American citizens as well. My condolences to anyone that may have been directly impacted, indirectly impacted, was traumatized by the event, knew someone that was. My condolences and my prayers go out to you guys. So, of course, during any specific day, where there's something going on, I always like to see what Phil has to say to see if he shoves his foot in his mouth. So let's get into it. It doesn't look like a good start because the video looks to be about 1 minute and 46 seconds long. So that's kind of short to convey how you're feeling about a specific event. But let's check it out.
11th, 2001, 21 years ago. That day that will live, in our memories forever. The terror attacks on the United States. And how it affected us, because it definitely was a moment in time, or I would say a few hours in time there, that were so insanely chaotic that changed American life. It really...
Actually, it was a good couple weeks. I remember being in the city, not in New York, but being in the city when all this happened and hearing about it and just the utter chaos that exuded. And it was more than just a few hours, but okay.
It did, in many different ways. And we should honor those who we lost, not only immediately in those moments, but those who we lost slowly over time. Those emergency workers, law enforcement, who are working very hard to help people in need in that situation, who then, years later ended up getting sick and things like that. And, it's a sad moment in American history, to say the least. But we should always take a moment, at least on September 11th every year, to remember. Okay? I honestly don't have much else to add.
I think you should do more than a moment, essentially, Pep. You should take the whole day to reflect. Now, I know, you have a business to run and you have to beg for your tips today and, get enough money to feed your cat and feed your horse and play WWE champions, but you should definitely reflect. Everyone should reflect. At least the whole day. Doesn't mean you have to stop what you're doing, but at least have that in the back of your mind as, hey, 21 years ago, something tragic happened. We lost 3,000 Americans and then thousands more after that. So more than just a quick minute to stop and say something.
Over the years, I've talked about this a lot. People always ask me on September 11th, what were you doing and what was this? I've kind of talked about it a million times, and quite frankly, I really don't feel like I have much to add. I wasn't someone who was directly affected by the events of September 11th. I didn't know anyone in New York City who was there at the time. I knew people who knew people.
Doesn't matter, Pimp. They were American citizens, and I think at the time you lived in Connecticut. You lived near New York. So, yeah, okay, you may have not known specifically someone that may have been that passed away or involved or whatever, but these were your neighbors. And I know Connecticut is essentially a hub for people that work in New York. It's actually, it's so close to New York that people who live in Connecticut just, it's cheaper to live there and they commute to New York. So essentially, yeah, this did impact you. Just because someone directly didn't pass away doesn't mean it didn't I didn't know anyone that passed away in the events, but it still impacted me greatly. To this day, I still think about it. Especially every time I go to a city and I go into a high rise, I think about it.
Let's put it that way. But I did not directly know anyone. So I don't really have anything personal to add or anything like that, or anything profound. So rather than me talk about it at length, I'm just going to say, let's remember and rest in peace to those who we lost. There we go. All right. So let's get into the swing of things here, everyone.
Okay, it's not his worst response or what he could have said, but really, Pimp, on 1 minute and 50 seconds, you couldn't reflect a little bit more. You couldn't, tell everyone maybe they should stop and reflect. you know, maybe stop and sometime today sit and reflect. You know, maybe say a prayer. I don't know. All right, I'm too. It's too much of a somber moment to make light of it, especially with this idiot. But anyway, anyone out there that may have been directly or indirectly impacted by the events of 9/11, my prayers and my sympathies go out to you, and hopefully it'll never happen again. Peace out.